Today, I'm going to talk about the 10 reasons you're not ready to get divorced, even if you think you are. This is Jerry with Rebuild Dad. Wherever you are, please hit subscribe or tap the heart button. It tells the algorithm this is worth showing. And it tells me you're ready to start again stronger. Number 1, you still want to win, not heal. If your divorce feels like a scoreboard, you're not ready. Winning means someone has to lose, and if she loses, so do your kids. Healing means walking off the field altogether. I remember sitting in my RV after another argument, buddy at my feet, quiet house, silence so thick it hummed. I thought, did I finally win? But if winning leaves you empty, you didn't win anything. You just ran out of words. You can't rebuild your life while swinging a sword. Put the sword down and pick up a mirror. Number 2, you haven't faced your own reflection yet. We all know our ex's faults by heart, but most men can't list their own patterns. You can't change what you won't confront. I wasn't a screamer. I was a silent storm. That's just as destructive. Maybe worse, because silence makes people doubt their reality. Facing their reflection isn't self-blame. It's self-ownership. It's saying, I see where I lost myself, so I don't have to lose myself again in someone new. Number 3, you don't have a financial survival plan. Now listen carefully, because this part ruins more men than heartbreak ever could. When you separate, you don't just divide emotions, you divide everything. 2 households, 2 electric bills, 2 sets of clothes for the kids, 2 Netflix accounts, 2 fridges, 2 toothbrushes, and you gotta have your income and double your expenses. You're not just losing her, you're losing economies of scale. That same $1 that once ran one home now has to run 2. You'll pay more in taxes, gas, rent, groceries, insurance, therapy, and the kids' activities. And if you're the primary provider, that means you're still carrying the same load with half the resources and half your retirement. And I get it. You might be thinking, well, she's the one who wants it. Here's the hard truth. 80% of all divorces are initiated by women, but that doesn't mean she's ready for it either. Many women file out of exhaustion, not clarity, out of pain, not peace. Sometimes it's not even about wanting out, it's about wanting something to change. So before you make anything permanent, ask yourself, have you exhausted all possible means? Counseling, time apart, communication coaching, working on yourself. Because unless there's abuse or real danger, divorce shouldn't be the first escape hatch. If you haven't done the work, really done the work, and she's already emotionally gone, then brother, filing isn't aggression, it's preparation. It gives you structure instead of chaos. Clarity isn't of panic. But if you're at that point where you know it's coming, don't stumble into it blind. Go watch my other video, How to Prepare for a Divorce, because when she gives up and waits for you to make a move, you better move with a plan, not pain. Number 4, you still hope they'll change. That quiet voice in your head that says, maybe if I just love her better. That's not hope. That's trauma bonding. Hope says, we can grow together. Trauma says, I'll shrink for you. If you're still bargaining for crumbs of affection, you're emotionally married to a fantasy. You can't heal it in that same environment that made you sick. Stop trying to change her mind. Change your boundaries. Number 5, you haven't built a support system yet. You'll find out after divorce who your real friends are. And sometimes that list gets shorter than you expected. The people who said, hey man, I'm here if you ever need anything, disappear. Not because they don't care, but because they don't know what to say. And if your ex has influence in your social circle, she might quietly poison your pond, turning neighbors, family, even mutual friends into ghosts. Most men aren't ready for that kind of silence. They isolate, they put on the armor, they tell themselves, I'll figure it out. But healing alone is like trying to lift a car by yourself. You might strain, you might sweat, but eventually it crushes you. Divorce without brothers, that's emotional suicide. You need men in your corner, not the ones that just say, she was crazy, bro, but the ones who will look at you in the eyes and say, hey, man, you're repeating the same pattern. You need that truth teller, not comfort dealers, because you don't just need to vent. You need to regulate. Your nervous system's fried. Motivation won't save you. You need rhythm, routine, stillness. That's what I mean when I talk about systems. Something to ground you when your world's spinning, and that could be morning walk, a 7-minute breathing routine, or just checking in with the same two brothers every Sunday night. It's not about hype. It's about heartbeat. Because men don't heal through isolation. They heal through connection. So before you file, before you pack your bags, before you hit send on that text, build your circle. Find your brothers. Put systems in place that remind you you don't have to carry this alone. Because no one rebuilds alone. They rebuild together, one breath, one truth, one step at a time. Number 6, you don't know who you are outside the marriage. You spent years being the provider, the protector, the husband, the dad. But who are you when that title disappears? If your identity was tied to her validation, then divorce won't free you. It'll unmask you, and that can be terrifying. When my marriage ended, I didn't recognize myself. I built businesses and homes, but I couldn't build peace in my own head. That's when I realized you can't rebuild your life until you rebuild your identity. Because the man who got married can't be the same man who rebuilds. You have to evolve. If this is hitting home, type in rebuild in the comments. That's not for me, it's for you. It's you declaring, I'm done surviving. I'm ready to rebuild. Come to the free 7-minute reset live. We'll bring your system back to ground so the man you were and the man you're becoming can stand up again. Links in the description. I'll walk with you. Number 7, you're still reacting, not responding. You ever fire off that long text you instantly regret? It's not communication. That's your nervous system hijacked. Your ex knows every button to push because she installed the panel. And every time you react, she wins. That's not because she's evil, but because you're still wired to her frequency. Peace starts when you reclaim your remote control, when you respond from grounded awareness instead of emotional reflex. That's emotional leadership, and your kids need to see that version of you. Number 8, you're doing it to escape pain. If you're leaving just to make the pain stop, you're not ending a relationship. You're just changing its form. You'll meet that same pain again in your partner, your next argument, your next mirror. I learned that the hard way. After the separation, I thought finally I can breathe, but the pain doesn't evaporate, it migrates. And until you face it, it sets up a new address inside you. Divorce doesn't save you from suffering, it invites you to meet it consciously. Number 9, you're still negotiating with guilt. That's a quiet war that happens long before any man files a divorce. It's not in the courtroom. It's not even with your wife. It's in his mind. Between guilt and clarity. And saying things like, if I leave, I'm hurting the kids. If I stay, maybe things will calm down. If I walk away, what kind of father does that make me? But the truth is, if you're staying only for your kids but living in resentment, you're not protecting them. You're programming them. They're learning from your silence. They're watching how you flinch when she yells. They see how your eyes go empty when peace becomes walking on eggshells. They don't hear your words. They feel your energy. And when love's in your home becomes tension, criticism, or survival, you're teaching them how love equals chaos and peace means silence. Now, the other side of the guilt looks just as heavy because some men leave too soon, not from clarity, but from collapse, from exhaustion, from the pressure of holding it all together until something inside snaps. If you leave because of guilt, you'll carry that same guilt into every room you enter. It'll follow you into your next relationship, into your parenting, into every quiet night where you wonder if you did the right thing. That's why this part matters. Before you decide anything, you have to separate guilt from truth. Ask yourself, am I staying because I love them or because I'm afraid of being hated? Am I leaving because I've outgrown the chaos or because I can't stand the guilt anymore? John Deloney says something really powerful. I choose guilt over resentment every time because guilt fades when it's anchored to truth, but resentment rots everything it touches, your health, your patience, and your peace. If you're still negotiating with guilt, you're not ready for divorce. You're ready for clarity. Take the time to untangle your emotions, sit in stillness, write it down, talk it through, because once you see guilt for what it really is, fear dressed up in responsibility, you'll stop negotiating with it and you'll start leading from truth and from what your kids need most. Not a perfect home, but an honest one. So before you walk out, make sure you're walking towards something, not just away from something. And number 10, the last but not the least, you haven't learned the lesson yet. Life, a patient teacher. If you don't learn the lesson, it'll repeat the class. New face, new name, same pain. Every heartbreak you don't understand becomes homework on your next one. So ask yourself, what did this relationship come to teach me? Boundaries, self-worth, communications, courage, love, because the goal isn't to avoid pain. It's to extract wisdom. When you finally learn the lesson, something shifts. You stop running, you start building. You stop reacting, you start responding. You stop needing them to change. You start changing yourself, and that's what the man the world's waiting for. Not the one who escaped the fire, but the one who learned to walk through it without getting burned. So if you think you're ready for a divorce, don't rush it. Because readiness isn't just about walking away. It's about knowing what you're walking into. And that's why the next video, we're going to talk about the top 10 reasons why you need to prepare for a divorce. The things most men never see coming until it's too late. The financial hits, the emotional whiplash, the silence after the storm, and how to prepare your mind, your money, and your mission. So you don't just survive the separation, you rebuild it. If you're still watching this far in, it's because someone inside you understands and already knows this isn't about ending a marriage. It's about beginning a new life, your new life. Come to the free 7-minute reset live. We'll bring your system back to ground so the man you were and the man you're becoming can stand up again. Links in the description. I'll walk with you. Peace isn't found after the paperwork. It's built before it. So start stronger again.
This is Rebuild Dad.